Tankers, welcome back to my videos. I am wot Blitz, and today I'm going over how to run the bat chat, tips and tricks, and just overall, how to run the vehicle, get better at it, help your win rate. Now, as always, real quick, make sure to subscribe. I do have my Discord in the description below. If you'd like to join that, send me your replays, be possibly featured, up to you. However, first into this video, I'm just gonna, give you the little rundown of the bat chat, why it's such an excellent tank, and how it's really controversial to winning games. You can see immediately, I've noticed that nobody is pushing this way. I've looked on the minimap, noticed that my 113 is already pushed all the way up to the enemy side, and he's pretty much at the spot and nobody has been spotted, which means their entire team is going to be pushing medium. The Centurion with me notices that, however, the 54 does not notice that, and is pretty much done. He'll be dead. Gets out actually quite a bit of damage for how bad his circumstances, but really he is dead. And because of that, we're already down a tank. So pretty much this game was a 6 versus 7. And unfortunately, you can see that the team has split up. And if you watched my worst team replays video yesterday, I made a little statement that's saying you can't split up in a team. If you push all as one group, you're gonna win. And if you pay attention, the enemy team does that, and they've already wiped out one full health tank. And our team did not stick together. You can see our Jagdpanzer E100 is all alone, and because of that, he is going to be killed by that Batchat. I saw the Batchat, I was gonna go rush him. However, this T-54 wanted to get me. I don't know why the Batchat's such a targeted tank. It might be because people are scared of the clip. They just don't want to deal with it later in the game or something. But it is just a really nasty tank, you can see. And it's so mobile. If you're not up against an excellent player or at least a decent player, they'll miss half their shells like that guy did. He only penned one. I penned all three of mine. And I noticed by the time I was going to go help that Jagdpanzer out, I was going to type in chat I tried to help, but it was too late. I really couldn't do anything to help him out. However, if I had gotten over there, we might have been able to pull this victory out. But to be honest, I'm not sure what the team's doing. You can see the WT is now alone, and I don't want to have the same thing that happened to the Jagdpanzer to the WT. However, the WT really messes up his shots here, only doing 449 damage there. He should have fired an AP. Because of that, I don't want to shoot the Leopard. You want to clear the enemy Batchat. Usually when you're running a Batchat, you don't want to deal with another one. The main tanks you want to clear when you're in a Batchat are the Batchats, the 62As. You want to clear those guys because those are the guys that can effectively outspot you, take you out. You may think, well, an E100 can do, 1,000 damage to me, but an E100 is not going to outspot you. Even if it's in a bush, you will usually outspot the E100. You'll get away fine. It's got an inaccurate gun, unlike the Batchat, which means that you can easily escape tanks like that. You want to target the tanks like the Leopards and the Batchats, and that's why I wanted to clear him. However, what I didn't notice is that my whole entire team managed to die so quickly, there wasn't even anything I could do. You can see this was just an awful team. I really should have used this for worst team replays, however, I didn't. And you can see the enemy team did excellent. Every tank on their team pretty much did how much damage you want to do. The two tanks that weren't spectacular were the only tier 9s. The rest were pretty much all excellent tier 10 players. Even that Leopard PTA was a very good player. And there was a pincer player in the Leopard, and he played it excellently. He flanked. He did everything you want to do. Unfortunately, the players on our team just didn't know what to do as heavies. They should have looked at the lineup. They shouldn't have pushed how they did. However, it's just unfortunate that the team didn't do their job correctly. But it got to show you how to run the Batchat, pretty much how to talk about it, and overall just where to run it. But let's get stuck into that second replay. Now, the second map we are on is Dead Rail, and I'm going to be pushing the Batchat up the medium way because I looked at the team lineup. And you need to do this. Every time you load into a game, you need to look at the team lineup. Because if they had more heavy tanks, I would have pushed over to the heavy side, ran over the ridge real quick, spotted, and then pushed over this way. But because the enemy team literally has one heavy tank, and it's an IS-8, which really isn't a heavy in my opinion, there's no point to go there. So I instead pushed medium. And as I've talked about before, the Batchat is a very, very targeted tank. And that is a really unfortunate thing. I'm not sure why it's so targeted. People think they can easily take it out. It's very hard to chase. A very small target occasionally bounces shells. Unfortunately, we didn't bounce that shell. And as you can guess, I was not very happy. I was very frustrated because it was literally a minute into the game and I had already lost 1,100 hit points. Uh, yeah, almost 1,200 actually, which really did not set me off on a good path, and it gets quite worse for me. However, I'm going to stay strong. This is a bat jet. You can use your camo rating to really help you out, and that is one of the huge advantages of this tank. Heat shell bounces off the lower plate of that 268. Looks like he's going to pull out again. Hits him in the gun mantlet. Are we going to get at least one shell to penetrate? We will have to find out. Now, as you see, the camera rating is excellent on this tank, so at least I am not getting spotted by that IS-8. Now I'm going to pull back here, so it's only my turret showing, which is going to help me out. I'm going to outspot him, try and get shot into that front track wheel. Yes, we track him. Come on, get another shell in. Come on, can we get that final shell in? And you literally see him turn the turret, snaps the shell into me, and now I'm a one-shot to every tank. Now, that was a ridiculous shot. I don't even think he aimed in. He literally just aimed at my tank and fired. Apparently, though, Russian bias does not exist by Wargaming's logic. However, again, we're behind a bush in the bat chat, and we get spotted. Fortunately, that E50M misses his shell. Now, we have 1,000 damage to our name, which isn't really spectacular. 2,500 is what I usually like to pull out, but 1,000 will have to do, and you only have 288 hit points. However, this is actually usually when I do better, is when I don't have a lot of hit points. And the reason being is because I am more vigilant. I have to see where every tank is in the map. However, aiming reticle just doesn't aim in there. I do notice the Batchet to be very bouncy, which is one of the issues with the gun, is it just doesn't like to penetrate. It shells for some reason. However, we didn't get detected from that. IS-8 is over there. The WT is just demolishing our team. It's now a 4 versus 4. I gotta tell you, those WTs are just killer. I feel like they just never miss. That WT managed to hit an HE on me across the entire map, probably 500 meters away. However, now it is a 3 versus 3. That 268 is 1,500 health, pretty much full, and our E4 is in big trouble. I was gonna wait for the 268 to shoot, but I just wanted to snap him. Get 2 shells into him. Now, I was going to back up there, but I realized that he's going forward, so I'm just going to go forwards because that would be easier for me to get the shell in. So 334, and we've managed to take him down 1,000 hit points, and we've picked up 2,300 damage now. So this game is looking quite promising. Not to mention, all that's left is a WT. Now, I'm expecting the WT to be where he shot me. However, this WT is a smart player, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm going to take 3 blind shots at the bush I'm thinking he's going to be at. I want to stay far enough away. About 250 meters is the closest I'd go. I think anything less than 250 and I would be spotted. I think 250 meters is the spotting range of pretty much all tanks. If you shoot anywhere below 250 meters, you will be shot. So I stayed 260 away. However, he is not there. But I'm not sure about that right now, so I'm still being very careful. I need to save my hit points because that WT can easily take out our E4 and potentially cause us to lose this game. So I'm going to be very smart about this. However, I am going to pull out here, and the reason I'm going to do this, I'm going to pull out and back up. I want to see if the WT's there, but I'll get spotted. However, since I didn't get spotted, I know that he's not there, and I'm guessing he's pushed through this little area I'm going to run through and across the other side. However, he is a pretty quick tank. I think the WT goes around 35 kilometers per hour. So by now, he's probably all the way up by our spawn, pretty far up there. However, that chat over here doesn't spot him, unfortunately, but he has pushed up where we thought he was going to go. Are we going to get that second shell? Just snaps it right through 2 train cars. Don't ask how that happens, but it managed to fly through 2 train cars underneath both of them, which was a pretty amazing shot. The T-54E1 is on a reload now, which really sucks because this WT might be able to get a shell. We see a bit of a red there. I'm looking all over for that marker. Looking. Come on, where is it? There it is. Fire goes directly through another train car right in between, and we managed to pick up the kill, breaking 3,000 damage. And that was a pretty good game. However, did we pen that shot on the 268? Yes, we did, fortunately. And pretty much overall, even though we lost credits, that was because, first of all, we're not running premium. With premium, we would have broken about even, and the reason is because we shot quite a bit of heat. But overall, a very nice game. It was one of the best games I've played in the Bat Chat for this day. The next one is a bit better, but just because you get shot at the beginning of the game and you're down to 200 hit points, I'm trying to say in a fast tank you can easily make work with that little hit points, because I had about 200 hit points when I had 1,000 damage to my name, and we still managed to pick up 2,300 damage after that, which is quite good. So overall, when you're in a light tank like this, just make sure you conserve your hit points, and I'll get more in depth in that in the next replay. But that is the end for this one. Now, in the last game, at the ending, the reason I said you usually want to conserve your hit points in a light tank like this is because, for some reason, your teams just like to die around you, and when that happens, you're usually stuck in like a 1 versus 3. And to be honest, the best tank I think at winning a Colabanos is the Batchat, because it has a nasty clip. You can spot the enemy way further than they can spot you. It's pretty much just an excellent tank at outmaneuvering. You can surprise the enemy. If you get a track shot in, you can get away. That is one of the reasons why I think this tank is excellent at winning Colabanos. Unfortunately, if you have used your hit points up at the beginning of the game and you're up against a 1 versus 3, you can't afford to get hit. However, if you manage to save your hit points till the end of the match, you can easily be able to take shells, trade, because if an E4 or an any E5 is against you, it'll take 400 off you, but if you pen all of your shells, you'll take 900 off him. You can track him. It's very easy tank to track and get away, and that is one of the reasons why you'd want to save your hit points. If you only have 200, you have to be super, super careful. Now, I see the whole team is pushing over to the other side of the map. Usually in a Batchat, what I want to do is I want to wait until I know where the team is going before I figure out where I want to go, because it helps you have an idea of where the enemy team's going to go. Also, I knew when I shot the D50M he was going to come after me, and because of that, I wanted him to rush over this hill and get shot by the 704. Now, that D50M just catches that 704 at the last second, but what I was trying to plan there is just to get that E50M screwed right in the side by that 704, which would have worked. Again, you never want to run a Batchat against an E50M unless you have cover, so don't do that unless you really have a teammate. Now, I was trying to get that shell on the track wheel, but he just turned his tank the last second to get that one through. I'm not sure how that last shell penetrated as I went up through the bottom of his tank. I thought that'd be an auto ricochet. However, the 704 just manages to get that shell, and the 183 really wants to get me. You can see him aiming at me. Gives up though, shoots the 704. Now you can see here, I was going to shoot the 183. I know I've got the grill behind me, but you can see, as I've said, I'm not going to look behind me. I'm swerving my tank back and forth. He misses the high explosive, still takes 500 off, but not 1,000. And because of that, we're able to survive with 700 hit points. We're able to get away instead of me trying to shoot that 183, having the grill potentially get me with a high explosive. It was just a much safer idea. Not to mention, I'm able to come back around. I'm completely undetected now. They have no clue where I am. And because I've distracted their tank destroyers, because this tank is actually such a targeted vehicle, you can use that to your advantage by distracting the enemy team. We distracted the enemy tank destroyer so much that they actually lost the game because they focused me so bad. Now this girl's going to die because he can't focus 2 tanks at once. Dead. Slam the shell right into the back of him. And this 183 is over here now, and because I'm going to stay back here, we are about undetected now. Because of that, we're doing pretty well. Now this 183 is being screwed by the team pushing on the front because we distracted them long enough that there was no 183 aiming at them, no grill. The E50M wasn't focusing. We managed to distract 3 enemy tanks just by a 704 and 1 dainty little Batchat. Because of that, we slammed the last shell into his track wheel, as I've said. Usually you want to do that because of that he couldn't turn around. And we've done 2,900 damage. This is actually a pretty good tank at reeling out damage as well. One of my friends, Death from the Clear clan, says that this is pretty much one of the most overpowered tanks in the game. If you can run a Batchat excellent, you can pretty much carry any game in it. Now, unfortunately, that one game you saw in Faust, I couldn't carry, but that was just because of a terrible team. I could have used that in worse replays if I wanted to. But overall, 3,500 damage, only lost 8,000. Again, with premium, we would have gone positive. Not a bad credit tank. It was just a pretty much excellent game. 12 shells fired, 12 penned. 14 fired, sorry, 2 missed. But overall, just a great game. This is a wonderful tank to run, and I hope you guys do like my little tips and tricks. As always, though, make sure to subscribe and join the Discord if you want to see your replays posted. Thanks for watching.